Whether or not those attorneys did their job is actually the heart of this attempt. Whenever they need to fuel up, they wouldn't have to pay taxes. I'll let you know how shoppers and stores did. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now. Now some consumers are trying to cut back on spending money by making sure that they eat food from the grocery store instead of takeout. Inside, educators, nurses, and health professionals are standing by. Local departments are hoping that the extra presence of the officers in blue will get drivers to slow down. Ferguson's father says that today's testimony proves that his son received inadequate representation. Hardcore Black Friday shoppers didn't wake up before the sun rose. No, they just didn't go to sleep.
A lot of people I talked to, were in line at 5 a.m. A lot of the store workers got to work at 3 a.m. Way too early for me.
But some economists feared lack of sleep wouldn't be the only deterrent from normal Black Friday turnouts. They also feared the troubling economy would keep shoppers snug in their beds. Despite the dismal economic futures reported in everyday papers like this, shoppers still can't resist their Black Friday Achilles heel, which surprisingly enough usually lurks in the very same paper in the form of cheerful, colorful ads. Shoppers like Hatley can't resist what those ads promise.
Good buys on a lot of products, get a jump on our Christmas shopping.
But the economy does still put a shopper on a stricter budget.
Definitely less this year than last year, but we're just getting started.
Hatley thinks economic woes will be a hardship for many. But while Hatley enjoyed what he called a less congested shopping experience, store managers kept insisting the crowds were just as good as ever, arguing the number of shoppers was just as typical for Black Friday as bell ringers are to the Christmas shopping season. Still, only the end of the day revenue numbers will show if 2008 can claim to truly have a black and not a red Friday. Sierra Putman, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. It's a silent predator, but diabetes continues to strike the Black community.
I'm quite fortunate that I don't have anybody within my immediate family that is affected by diabetes, but my extended family, I have numerous people that have either lost limbs or been placed on dialysis or have coronary effects from diabetes.
Doctors diagnosed Bruce Stevens late in life.
I had surgery in October of last year. They found that I had diabetes.
Now he realizes living healthier is the key.
Because from our food habits, the habits that we usually growing up as kids, a lot of sugar and salt, a lot of starches. But there's some good doctors around in this town that they can help you overcome a lot of things.
But diabetes strikes many minority groups. The CDC says about 7% of whites have diabetes, 16.5% of Native Americans, 12% of blacks, 10% of Hispanics, and 7% of Asians have the disease.
It is just a new way of thinking. That it's just that simple, but it's a learning process. It's rethinking, redoing, getting rid of some traditions, making up some new ones that is going to extend our lives.
We got to follow those instructions that the doctors prescribe for us.
Blake Demore is Missouri's Bowler of the Year, but he's not the one to watch. Better look out for his little brother. Spencer's 5 and averages a 132.
It's great. Sometimes he almost beats me when I'm having a bad day, but he's real good at it. I've been teaching him a bunch of stuff, and it's real fun to be around.
Blake knocked down his first pins at 5, but Spencer, he hit the lanes much sooner.
Spencer's been bowling all in his life. I mean, I used to carry him up to the foul line and help him throw the ball.
Most 5-year-olds, they get probably a 6-pound ball. But that's not what Spencer does. Spencer bowls with about 1/4 of his weight, or a 10-pounder, or sometimes even a 12-pound ball. This 40-pound kingpin has a bit of advice.
I give him lessons.
Proving he was ready to show and tell at this year's Show Me State Games. Sierra Putman, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.